What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. So I know I haven't posted in like a week, but here's another upload. This is like a continuation of the series of me doing like 2024 what if candidates. Last time we did Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden. Now we're gonna do Ron DeSantis versus Kamala Harris. So in this scenario, Ron DeSantis wins the Republican nomination. He totally clobbers Joe Biden in a debate. I feel like DeSantis is a pretty decent debater, a bit better than Trump actually. And then Biden drops out, Kamala Harris takes over. You know that stuff. So, Ron DeSantis versus Kamala Harris. Here we go. Before we get into that, here's the current 2024 map. I doubt it's gonna change anymore. Basically all votes have been counted. It took California a bit. It took Maryland a bit. It took New York a bit. Actually, no, New York was kind of good. But here we are. The final map. The likely final map. Here it is. A couple shockers, I know, but we'll get into the scenario now. We'll start with the safe Democratic states: Washington, California, Hawaii, DC, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine's 1st Congressional District. And is that it? Yeah, I think that's it actually. 98 electoral votes in the safe Kamala Harris column. Now let's move to the safe Republican electoral votes. We start with Nebraska, Montana, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Nebraska's 3rd Congressional District, South Dakota, North Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, not Ohio, but Missouri, West Virginia, and the only margin change from the original map is going to be Florida. It's Ron DeSantis' home state. He has a mind-blowing approval rating there, and he's really reformed that state to a conservative empire. And he's going to move his home state from likely Republican to safe Republican. Alright, now let's get into the likely Democratic states. We're going to start with Colorado. This state was won by Harris by 11 points. She's going to keep it in the likely margin. Colorado is one of the states that I know is going to trend left in the future. It didn't this year because it was kind of a red wave. But, yeah, it's going to trend left in the future. We're going to do Oregon. It was won by Harris by 14.3 points. I actually think she does slightly better here with DeSantis, but just barely in the likely Democratic margin. Now let's go with, one more safe state. That's going to be South Carolina. South Carolina, a lot of people were predicting it to go likely Republican. It was actually won by 17.9% by Trump, barely into the safe Republican column, and I feel like DeSantis keeps it in the safe Republican column. Alright, now we have, we're going to put Illinois in the likely Democratic column. Illinois was won by Harris by 10.8%, trending right heavily. Same with New York. Like Chicago and New York City, they're going to trend right in the future, but not enough to like make it super red in the near future, but it's definitely going to trend to the right. Delaware, New Jersey, not New Jersey, but Connecticut and Rhode Island. These are going to also go into the likely Dem column. These were actually really a shocker likely Dem states. Rhode Island was 13.8% Harris. So I actually, a couple months back, I had these going likely, but in the end, I had them going safe. But I gotta give myself credit for having them likely at some point, because this shocked a lot of people. And here, I actually feel like DeSantis does pretty bad in the New England area, and that's able to move Connecticut from likely Democrat to safe Democrat. Delaware, I also believe that it would move from likely Democrat to safe Democrat. So remember, this is a 2024 scenario, not a 2028 prediction. But let's go to the likely Republican states now. That's Iowa, Ohio, Texas, Alaska, and Maine 2nd Congressional District. But there are two more I'll talk about in a sec. Texas, won by Trump by 13.7%. Not a shocker. That DeSantis keeps it in likely. A lot of people were predicting it. to go 5 point Trump, 7 points. Some even had it lean. So it's kind of shocked everyone when Trump almost won it by safe margins, even more than Florida, even more than Ohio. So yeah, that really shocked a lot of people. And DeSantis keeps it in likely Republican. Alaska, 13.1%. That's shifting left long term, but DeSantis does kind of worse than Trump here, but keeps it in likely Republican. Ohio, 11.2%. Trump, 13.2% in Iowa. These two, they're definitely likely Republican states. The Rust Belt's shifting left long term, but these two states are pretty Republican. Now, I want to talk about the other two Republican states that I'm putting in the likely Republican column. One of them is Arizona. This was considered a swing state, but Trump somehow won it by 5.5%. That's like literal margins by Romney and McCain. McCain won by 8.5. Romney won it by 9.1. It's like back to the Obama era of Arizona. Arizona used to be way more Republican, but now it's considered a swing state, and Trump somehow won it by likely margin. I feel like DeSantis does pretty good in Arizona and Nevada, which is why I'm also putting Nevada into likely Republican. Trump won it by 3.1%. These two states, DeSantis is going to do super well in border states. DeSantis does fine with Hispanics, and yeah, DeSantis wins both of these by a likely Republican margin. Now we're going to move on to the lean Democratic states. This is New Mexico, Minnesota. Okay, sorry, one more likely Republican state. That's Nebraska's first. Nebraska's first was the only electoral vote to trend left. It's trending left long term. DeSantis wins it by a likely margin, though. Going along with the lean Democratic states, we're going to add in Nebraska second, Virginia, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and Maine at large. So, New Mexico, it was won by a likely margin, but it's a border state. DeSantis can make it trend right by a bit. Nebraska second, won by Harris by 4.7%. Barely lean. DeSantis keeps it that way. Minnesota, I feel like Harris instead expands on her margin there to like 4.6%. Virginia narrows it down there to Harris's 4.8%. New Hampshire, Harris wins it by 3.1%. Oh, right there. So now let's move on to the final swing states: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Georgia. I have DeSantis winning Georgia and North Carolina and Pennsylvania by a lean Republican margin. It was that way in 2024, obviously. I feel like Georgia, DeSantis wins it by 1.8, North Carolina by 3 points on the dot, and Pennsylvania, he wins it by 1.5. Now to the final two states. Oh yeah, by the way, DeSantis won. He surpassed 270, and he has 287. I have Harris losing Michigan by 0.5%, and she wins Wisconsin by 0.3%. I feel like DeSantis doesn't do exactly amazing in the Rust Belt. And yeah, so this is my prediction. If it was a 2024 election between Kamala Harris and Ron DeSantis. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.